Hey guys, and how's it going? I'd like to introduce you to my 2007 Toyota Tundra I bought about 4 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately, it got totaled by a bug. Looks okay, don't it? I feel the same way. Runs, drives, perfectly fine. But a bug screwed it up. And right there is where the issue is. It doesn't look all that bad. That's what I thought as I drove away. But if you look at the truck, look at the body line right there, the bed is sitting higher than the cab. And if you look at the front bumper, what do you see? It's going to show up on the camera. Look at the gap on the bumper on that side and the gap on the bumper. So it's touching on the right and on the left. You see the gap that we have right there. And pretty much no gap on that side. Let's go bring it in the garage and go put it up on the lift and take a peek underneath. Let's go check it out. So, looks pretty, don't it? In the back is where it got stung by a bug. And you can see where it folded it up, and you can see the frame has a tweak. It's got like a zigzag in it. It's hard to see because the leaf spring pack is in the way. And it's got a kink to it right there, and then further down. I don't know, sure if the camera's picking it up. Probably if you look at the even where the leaf spring is sitting compared to the frame, compared to the other side. You see how much is exposed on that side, how much is exposed on that side. And then up front, more, it's got a bit of a good wave curve to it. Kind of like shifted, the whole leaf spring pack and the axle is shifted over that way. I believe there was a kink somewhere over here. But essentially what's going on is the frame rail on the passenger side has a bow to it. It's actually, it's got a curve to it like this, which is kicking this whole front end up, causing the nose to sit on an angle. That's why you saw the front grille is out of whack. So an insurance adjuster came out and he went underneath and he priced getting a used frame. They're not going to put a new frame in it. Getting a bed side and some other parts and everything, and essentially they considered the truck to be totaled. The price came back at, I want to say, right around there, 10,300. Truck's got 146,000 miles on it. Again, it's a 2007 Toyota Tundra. And I think I could fix it. The buyback on the truck is 3,200 and change, right around there. Doesn't seem like it drives any different. It still kind of drives the same. The exhaust took a tweak. The tailpipe's hanging down. And I think it just kind of blew out the knuckle that's inside there. But most of it's just that rear being tweaked. The trailer hitch is twisted. You can see where it blew out and is kicked on an angle. And from up here, you're not going to be able to see it. The trailer hitch is hanging down. It's kicked down on an angle. The tailgate doesn't open and close. The bumper had, right where the plate light is, there where the hole is, you can see the wire hanging. There was a headlight stuffed in there. I drove home with that in there. Yeah, you can see the leaf spring, had the leaf spring sitting over to that direction compared to the frame on the shackle. But I think I have a fix for it. You can see the wheel well's all knocked out of whack. Like I said, it doesn't seem like it drives any different. I actually towed home. I had to use it for towing, and it seemed like it towed the trailer just fine. So that's what we got. They totaled my truck. Well, bug, I got pictures I could show you. I'll insert at some point. So the biggest thing was when it got hit, there was a pile of rust underneath it. You can see where it all kind of, wherever you see that, like the shinier rust here, that was all where rust flaked off. You can kind of see, like, I'll flake off some up here. Typical New England Toyota truck. I never got to undercoat this one. Here, hold on one sec. Do this proper, like. You can see how that is doing that. So it kind of did that across the whole truck. You can see where it all got knocked off all the way around. It's kind of like a paint that they had on there, then the paint held rust on there, and it took the hit, it knocked all that off of there, except for we can kind of like still touch that. Anyway, I do think I have a fix for that. There's a spray, a new spray that's out that kind of rejuvenates it. Let's go grab it. We'll give it a shot. We'll try it in one spot. Spray it on there. We'll give it a little bit of time. See how it does. Maybe we'll do like right here on this side of the frame right here. We'll spray this down. See how it does. See if we can save this. Alright, so I'm going to go spray a bunch of that down. And it takes a little while. Let's go see what it does. I'm actually going to run around probably the whole truck. We'll give that a bunch. We'll let that soak in. And I'll bring you right back. So it's, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later. I tell you, it really does a good job, doesn't it? I'm amazed. Really cleaned it up nice. Doesn't even leave, you know, a little bit of oily residue there, but kind of dries up afterwards. Cleaned up the aluminum. Definitely a big difference. There's still a little bit of rust left over that we got to go chase, but not bad. Oh yeah, rear end cleaned up really nice too. Let's go try it on the damage on the corner, see what happens. Why not, right? Yeah, I say we try it on that dent. Let's see what it does. This stuff's awesome. I'm telling you, that stuff's amazing. The only thing, you know, we did a good job, but it just turns everything black. That's like the after, you know? Really kind of cleans stuff up nice. So, all right, enough screwing around. So, I had to go break down and I bought another truck. This is a 2019 Toyota Tundra. Same thing, just a newer version of it, much cleaner. Obviously, the frame doesn't have the issues that the other one did, and it was just kind of time to step up. And you know, it wasn't planned, but because of the accident, I went with this one. So this is a 2019 Tundra TRD Sport. There's a Sport and there's an off-road. The other truck was an off-road, and this is a Sport. Sport's a little different. It gives you a fake hood scoop, all blacked out. The paint's called, I think it's called Midnight Black. It's got blue metallic in it. It's not going to show up in here, but there's blue metallic in the paint. Kind of looks cool in the sunlight. The only damage to the whole truck is the ding in the door. There. Other than that, the rest of the truck is really clean. The TRD Sport goes with the bigger wheels. It's got the 20-inch instead of the 17s or the 18s. The off-road would have more tire, less rim. This is more of an on-road truck than the other one. Again, has the hard tonneau cover on the back of it. You know, these bumpers are blacked out. It's got the tow package. It has a dual exhaust system he had put in it afterwards. Being in 2019, it's got the backup camera, the soft tailgate. It has you know, lane departure and all that kind of stuff, letting you know when people are alongside you. It was really not used for much heavy hauling or towing or anything. As far as being a fairly clean truck, you know, it doesn't have the rust issues. The other truck is, when I got it, a state trooper had owned it. It had 110,000 miles on it, but kind of forgot to figure in the fact of the thing sat on the side of the road idling all day long while it was on a detail. So that truck actually had probably more miles than you know, more hours on it than anything else. This one's really clean. It has a power back window. Some issues that are with it. Power back window is stuck. You never used it, so it is frozen in place. I should probably grab a light because you're not going to see a thing. It's black on black. The seats are flipped up. The 19 has like a little storage containers underneath it. The back seats flip down for now, but it comes with like little storage containers. Both sides underneath the seat. It's got a better stereo system in it. I believe all TRD trucks are the SR5, and then there's this is the package that is added on top of them. Power seat that's in it. Like I said, it's got the center display. Tow package. He had seat covers on it. That seat cover is still on the other side. This one wore out, and he just took it off of there. The biggest thing that kind of detracts from, which isn't really not that big of a deal, I guess it happened to a lot of them. The center console, the padding, that's, you looking at the plastic, that's what's underneath the center console. All those, they started peeling on the front, so he had to go remove that and take it off just because like glue was sticking out of the ends and everything on it. I have a new cover for that. I ordered a bunch of new stuff for this, so we're going to kind of go through the truck and clean stuff up. The other one I had to go put a tow setup in it. This one is built right into the truck. The other truck was having a problem too going into low range. The solenoids would stick and it'd give you, you'd be stuck between, you'd be in neutral essentially. It would try to go in a low range, it would get stuck. You'd have to keep flicking the switch back and forth and it would do it. So it would back up and give you, you can get the whole truck in the shot. It's a good looking truck. If I had to, the deal worked out really good too. I'll give you a quick backstory on that. So I go to a diner and I was shooting the shit with somebody in the diner. We're talking about trucks and I talked about my Tundra getting whacked. And he said, yeah, I had talked to him once before. He had gotten in an accident with a Tundra and they had totaled his truck and he went and bought a new one. And being this truck right here. And we were talking again, this is 2019. So he had it for 4 years and he wanted to go get a Tacoma. He wanted to go get just something different. He's a contractor, so you get to write off your vehicles. You know, the depreciation on them. So most contractors do that. They'll every so many years they trade in a truck and get another one. They offered him 20 grand for this truck. It has 98,000 miles on it. And I was looking for trucks. You know, mine got messed up. What I was going to do, buy my truck out, not buy my truck out. I didn't know. And so I was looking at them. They're all around, 35,000, 33,000. I was looking at, there was another truck that was hitting the front and the rear. It was 15 grand for 2013. And so I talked to him about this one and he still owed 10 grand on it. And I said, how about 25,000? A little bit more to the story, but anyway. So he said, sure. Because he had it, like I said, the trading, he said it was all locked into a trade. And then later on, like after I offered him the 25 grand, he said, well, I don't have anything signed. That's just what they offered me when I put $500 down on another Tacoma when it finally comes in. So here we go. I intervened. I saved myself about, 5 grand, 8 grand, and he saved himself 5 grand too by going with me. So it worked out for the both of us. Again, one owner truck. He took really good care of it. Always went to the dealer to have it maintenance, and you had the fluid changes done all the time. He gave me the records of all the oil changes and everything that was maintained on it. It's got new tires that are put on it, and no accidents. Again, one owner, and so it worked out really good. So here we go. All right, guys. So we are going to go set this truck up to be more of my liking and what I need out of a truck, and I've ordered a bunch of stuff. So without further ado. Okay, we'll be able to get back from it a little bit further and get a better look at the truck outside, but let's continue on making it more useful to us, because I will probably be driving this for the next 5-10 years as long as nobody rear ends me. And so let's carry on, shall we? Well, it's not as much of an issue for me, but my wife is on the vertically challenged side. And she has a hard time getting in and out of the truck. Plus, she just had knee surgery done. So getting in and out of this is kind of a pain. And as you can see, there is nothing underneath there to kind of step on and get up inside there. So there is a set of running boards right there that we need to go install. Let's get them out of the box, take a peek at what we got, and look at the instructions for a second, and get them on there. I figured that would go with the black finish pretty good. You know, the black thing, everything's blacked out on the truck. So, and these, we're kind of in the snow belt. So I can see in the wintertime, them not being slippery because they got the texture on them. I'm going to bring that box over to the bench and see what we got for hardware, and see what it takes to go put them on. Hope they're the right ones. What's those videos called? Unboxing? Unboxing video. I do not see a piece of paper. Is that it? There we go. I'm going to rip all the plastic off all this stuff, all these brackets. Each one's got its own little orientation where they go. Alright, I'll bring it back. Instructions are kind of but it's pretty self-explanatory. So front passenger, center passenger, rear passenger bracket, and then, you know, front driver, center driver, and rear driver brackets. Here's all the hardware taken out of the little boxes, and it just pretty much tells you to try on the body of the truck, locate, I guess, mounting positions, and then bolt those to those mounting positions on both sides. And get a little schmegma going on. And then after that, just take the bar and set the bar on them and bolt the bar to those brackets once they're on the truck. Let's see how that works. I want to clean that oil up. So I would have thought it would have bolted to the frame, but it doesn't. It bolts to the body of it. So these got to come out. I think these and right here. I don't see two on that one, do you? Maybe that's one right there. It's just kind of missing. We're going to buzz those out and we'll hang those brackets off of those, and we'll see if we're correct or not. Kind of run them up a little bit. No power. Of course, they're a different size. I'm cranking them down, just so they're not flopping around. That's good. We could fudge it as we need to. Do the same with the other two. And where's our holes? That one didn't have a bolt in it, hopefully. Let's go see if we can get that one started without the bracket in there. I think we're going to go need ourselves a tap. Looking pretty cruddy up in there. Of course, there's always one, right? Actually, the original bolts are self-tappers. Let's go try running that up. Use some of that miracle spray. There it is. It works so well on the other parts of the body, right? We're in. Let's see if I screw that, tip of that bolt up. Nope. That's good. All right, let's go. I don't know how we're going to support the running board. If I had somebody, one of you guys would hold it up there for me, it would make life a lot easier, but it is what it is. Oh, judging by the spacing, this one shan't. All right. I don't know, maybe get a bolt in the center one. Kind of work from there. Catch. Hope they're the right ones. Oh, any locking washers or anything on it. Oh, you get two on there. Like I said, now I can go and get all the decent hardware in place. Get one on the back. Pretty good. I guess it has a middle step that's higher. Like if you wanted to get something off the roof, you use this to get in the truck, or this to get like up on the middle. Seems a little. I won't pass judgment on it yet. I'll show you. You would think that would be kind of more. I don't know. As far as the line, we could shift it left to right a little bit. So we are past the door by about 1.5 inches. And probably about the same in the front. That's probably pretty good where it is. I'm going to go run the rest of the hardware in, start sucking it up, and call it for a win. If that works out good, I'll just do the same on the other side. So just make sure that they're level. I'm just checking that air gap across the door. That looks pretty good. Want to finger it? Loose 2. It's tight. So there. Kick her down just a little. Not that much. Loose 2. Loose 2. Alright, let's now snug them down just like that. Perfect. Now, one more time on the other side. And just like everything, the second side takes half the amount of time. I ended up pushing it all the way up because I was thinking, you know, if you're riding down a trail or something, you want you can be losing ground clearance from it. So I ran it up just so it's about, I don't know, about a quarter inch from touching the body in the front, and just leveled it from there. So it's probably about an inch up from where it was. I did the other side too. Nice. All right, let's go move on to something else. Just a quick look on the front of this truck. You can see the air gap on from the bumper. You got like one finger pretty much going all the way across, and it's even on both sides. So it was just showing on the other truck that the frame rail on this side was bowed up. It took the cab and it tilted the cab to this corner. So definitely was gonna, I think it didn't seem like it drove much different. I don't know what it's gonna do about wear and tires and all, but again, that's not gonna be our problem anymore. No, is it? Another thing that I like to put in every truck, people say it's illegal, and it's not. Little suicide knob. Especially when you're using a trailer. These things are awesome. I think it's like urban legend, or it used to be at one time. It was an issue. Not so much anymore. I looked it up. I think there's one state. It's only illegal if it impedes your motion of steering. Maybe we'll flip that around the other way. The steering wheel's on the fat side. Yeah, I put them in everything. Not just for fork trucks. That's what the position is good, because you could rest your, you're doing a lot of traveling on a highway. It's a comfortable spot. You could leave your arm on the armrest and just kind of use your fingers to kind of pace it back and forth. I think it's, I get in a car without it, and I hate it. So I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to get you out of the way, but essentially, we're going to go right about there. I'm going to go hop up, close the door, put my arm on the armrest, fine tune it a little bit, and then suck it down. Right, let's go with, that's the armrest. About right there, feels pretty good. I had one on the other truck, but it was more of a solid metal one. This one's got a little bit of cushion to it. They're cheap, like 10 bucks a piece. Even in my old cars, I have old style ones. I got one, my VW bus has a, I made one out of a yo-yo, like a red yo-yo. Let's go fire it up. Yeah, controls are all good. Perfect. Just like I like it. Yeah, snug them down a little bit more. They come with different length screws for different setups too. Thicknesses of the wheels. Here's inside that VW bus. I was talking about the suicide knob, where it's a yo-yo. They had writing on it. It's wore off from just kind of palming it for so long, but you look close, you can kind of tell. Works good. So I think it's kind of funky. His truck has a smoker, so I have to try to kind of purge the interior. The one thing we're going to get rid of is this passenger seat cover. I'm sure it's holding some of that in there. I can go get that yanked off and see what kind of condition that seat's in. I mean, I think I have to get it from the back side. There's that clips that hold it. We'll slip that off of there. He be gone. I smell it. It stinks. Seat looks pretty good though. Don't see any damage in it anywhere. Not quite sure what this is. Oof. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that too. Little seat belt sock. It's gotta come apart somehow, huh? Probably put those back on. Maybe we'll throw in a washing machine and see if they survive. Put the Velcro back together. Yeah, de-Velcroed them. Actually, kind of like a funky color, it looks like, huh? I don't know if that's the sun or if that's smoke. If that's smoke, that's nasty. Oh, and they valued the truck cap at $145. So I think I could fix that. Fixed. They can keep their $145. I'll keep the cap. You want what's left of a VW headlight that was stuck in the bumper. I had to go kick off of there. Yeah, this bed, I did rust repair. This bed was rotted. See where I put the patches in, going around there. I think even up front there's two, each where the mounting spots were. So I think a good battle plan would be to work from the inside of the truck out. I want to shampoo the seats and the carpet and all that, but there's some things I want to work on in here. One being that we're missing that console cover. I do have another cover for it, but you know, we got to kind of like reupholster it. Let's see about getting that out of the way. That way we're not like climbing on wet seats to try to remove this. We'll chase a couple of pieces in the interior for the carpet, you know, the shampooing gets done. And then that can sit up with a fan in here blowing for a day or two. I don't see, I'm trying to think out if we're able to take it with the hinges. I see screws kind of going all the way around. I was hoping we could take this thing out in one piece and put it together. Maybe not. I'm going to take a quick peek in the back there, see if there's anything back here that can remove some screws and have it come out. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. It's all one piece of blow molded. All right, we'll take those screws out of the front. We'll get that cover off there. We'll get that out of the truck. Actually, I do believe you can yank up on it. I'm able to get the whole thing to pop free. There it goes. Come on. Look at that. We just have a wire holding this. Looks like a bunch of screws holding this metal spring plate on. We'll get them off and that should take the whole thing out. You got it? Is the front latch? Nope. Alright, let's get that out of here. Look at those little built-in secret stash compartments. They don't even go to anything. I think there might have been vents, like if you had rear power vents for heat or something, that would go through there, but I think there's nothing back here. It's the cup holders. Look at that. So I definitely see the entertainment system in this one is definitely a step up from what I had before. It's got separate inputs for audio coming into it down below. A couple of plugs down there. You can tap right into it. I have all my cars, probably about 4 of different cars have satellite radio. They already have them built into here, but then you'd have to get another subscription. I have a little, it's probably one of the originals. It's called an S50. These are actually kind of better too, because if you use the antenna on these, they broadcasted way further. They actually had a recall on them. You're supposed to turn them in. I never did. Anyhow, so the unit kind of taps in on the top of each one of these, and then this base kind of stays put. And my other truck, I had it. Again, it was designed differently. I think it's probably about right here, but of course, I'm not going to be able to do that. It's the diameter of the little sticky pad. Maybe, what about, it looks like it just doesn't make it. If we kick it and leave that like right about there, should be far enough out of the way and my wife won't smack it getting in and out of the truck. But the self-sticky is no longer because I already peeled it off one. It actually failed on the other truck and I ran a screw through it. I got so frustrated. When you put these on, they have to sit for a while. Let's spray her up a little bit with some spray glue. We'll do the same over there. We'll take this apparatus off of it so it doesn't have so much weight hanging on it. It has to set up for about 24 to 48 hours before you can hang weight on them so the glue is fully cured. Let's go spray this up. Maybe we'll throw a little on there and two-part cement it together. So get that piece off of there. It's just the naked coupler, and we're going to go with 3M super trim adhesive compared to the regular adhesive. This is the super stuff. Let's go give that, actually a little less is more. I'm gonna go spread that out. And it's kind of like a contact cement. So we're gonna let that get a nice even coat. Blah. And I'm gonna do the same to the dash. Probably spray some in a little cup or something and we'll finger it. Actually just make a little wet spot on a piece of paper and we'll take it from there. Let's see right about. Let's go with that. A little more. Yeah. Take the outside because he generally wants to peel away from the outside. Let that set up. A real place to prop you up in here. See how well we can do this one-handed. We got one shot at it. Let's go with the upper is the most important. Where's that screw? In case you got to put a screw back in it. Let's go with eyeball it real quick. That edge is hanging down, but I think it's about the best we're gonna do. Heat probably wouldn't hurt either. Make the plastic a little softer to kind of lay flat, you know. That corner gonna go for us. Yeah. It's like a plasticky rubber. Good. It falls right off. Alright, we'll let that set up, leave it alone. Like I said, even with like you know, the ones with that little white foam on the back of them that you peel the plastic off, even those things are the same way too. Even tell you, like when you do a rear view mirror and the when you glue them on, don't put them on right away. I know because I've done it. And you come in like a few days later and it's like the thing's slowly peeling off. Worst case, we'll take a tie wrap, we'll grab it to the vent to hold it. Well, that should be in a good spot right about there. I'm not quite sure how dirty the headliner is. Let's go and drop a visor, see if you see a color difference. A little bit, huh? Or is that shading? Actually, that driver's side should be the worst. Well, if it's there, it's not terrible. Let's, I was warned that you gotta be careful, you don't want to steam clean a headliner or like soak it because the glue will come loose. And eventually the headliner will come down from the fabric that's above it. Let's go try like maybe some like foamy glass cleaner on a paper towel. We'll just kind of wipe it a little bit, see if it comes off with some color. That actually looks like it's kind of dark. Maybe that will help it. I'm not sure, you know. We'll sneak up on it sparingly so we don't do any damage. Kind of go from there. We'll spray some on a paper towel, we'll try that. Yeah, it's just foaming glass cleaner. Let's see what it does to the rag. Yeah, really not much. Might be a futile attempt at, I don't know what else we want to try. Even if that's where it's, you would think that's where the smell would be staying though, right? Yeah, it doesn't seem like much of anything comes off on it. Smells like smoke. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not a color change on it, but it might be a good idea to I'm trying to think what else we could use that wouldn't be so evasive. I don't know. Maybe we'll leave well enough alone and we'll move on to, I'm going to vacuum out the carpets and we'll run a shampooer. Took all, they had those, what's those heavy duty plastic mats called? That rubber mats that go in there. Rain guard? Something like that. They were always in there, so I took those out. Should probably sealed a lot of floor up. We can wash those with a pressure washer outside. But it's, you know, it's a truck that 98,000 miles on it definitely has, you know, clean interior other than the smell. So yeah, I'm gonna go fire up a shampooer, vacuum it, shampooer. I'll bring you back. We'll see what the water looks like and see if we did any good. Probably the seats would be the most. Let's go try some of that on the seat real quick. Okay, it may not just be strong enough to do anything, you know. It's meant to clean glass, right? Get in there. Yeah. It did have seat covers on it too. This one was already removed. The other ones had covers on them. All right. Enough of this. Plus, you know, a lot of it too, I think gets held in even just in the hard plastic stuff. And we got the vent to go deal with the filter. We're gonna go pull that stuff out too. But let's get to, I want to get jumping on this so it has time to go dry. Although it's dirty, I must say, I've seen much worse. I've seen it where you've gotten like a quarter-inch of gravel on the bottom of it. I don't know if that's the case here. A little bit. Well, not that bad. You know, for a used car, it's probably the cleanest one I've ever had, other than the smell. So hopefully, I know whatever's got for like perfume in it too, that, I don't know if it masks it, but just kind of, yeah, the soap removes some of that odor. So I'm gonna go hit her a little bit more, and I know we should jump on next. I'm probably gonna wipe the interior down, all the hard plastic stuff. So I went over all the hard plastic surfaces with like OxyClean, and you can definitely under the suds. It really, most of the plastic wasn't dirty with the seat belts. Most of it came right out of the seat belts, but I wiped down every hard piece of plastic on here. I'll give that a dry. Then I have like a detailer we can go put over the top of that once it's dry for the plastics to kind of bring that back in shape. Wiped inside the consoles, wherever I could, you know, even the door jambs and all. So any surface that it would have been stuck on, just the, you know, how the smoke kind of clings to it a little bit. The neighbors out there taking care of potholes in the parking lot. Awesome. You think the town would do it, but no. Let's go get the cabin filter out of it and see what that looks like. Now, it's supposed to be in the glove box. I think does this need to come out of the way? I would say so, judging by the fact that it's in front of the door. Just straight up. Seems kind of violent. I think we probably got some tabs or something to get that out of there. You guys sleeping on me? That's got good oof. You literally can smell. You can smell the tobacco. Now that was definitely, that one's factory. Ooh, all right, let's go probably get some Lysol. We'll fire it up and we'll let the fan kind of system run. I don't know if we need the truck to run or not, maybe. And we'll let that circulate through. We'll shoot some Lysol in there and hopefully it'll go like through the vents a little bit. I gotta recirculate. It sounds like it sucked something in. It was like quiet and then all of a sudden it started. Oh well. It was smooth and then it started making like a vibrating sound. Let's go shoot some Lysol in it. I have a feeling it grabbed like a leaf or something. I didn't see anything in there. Let's go see if we can fog it. Hope that doesn't pump itself through the... Too bad it doesn't get. There we go. Just kind of soak all that stuff in there and let it... Well, it smells much better already. What does that stand for? Oh, just the airbag comes leaning on the seat. Let that hum a little bit. Hopefully, they can get in there with an air gun or something and shake out what's on that fan. I think the fan is like right there. We probably get it with a mirror and look down. Might be too much light for you. Right there is your problem. It's got a bunch of leaves drawn into the center of the fan. That would do it. We can get our mitts in there. Where are you? There's one. Amazing how something so tiny can make so much noise. Yeah, just some leaves. I'm going to pick at that for a little bit. Get all that out, and then we'll turn it back on, see if it sounds any different. I would suspect that it does, but good thing for the filter, huh? It must have been sitting somewhere up there because, like I said, it was quiet and it started making the noise. Anybody else? Working my way around like a mouse. There's one more piece. Yeah. Alright. Camera lens looks... Ooh, your lens is dirty. You dirty lens, you. That definitely sounds better. Give her a little more spray. Drown that puppy. I wanted to try to draw it up in through the vents. You could probably squirt some down to the top, but give that a good bath. Like it's raining. It's raining Lysol. Kind of hoping we see like fog come out through these. So you probably spray some down in there a little bit, but you got to figure how much cigarette smoke in the wintertime this thing got in it, going through those vents back and around. I'm gonna let that circulate for a little bit, and I'll take one more peek, see if we have any more leaves that are in there. I'll pop a new filter in. Ooh, smells so much better already. Problem is that a lot of that stuff doesn't stay, but we'll see. Hey, let's go with a Ram. It doesn't just hide odors, it eliminates them. It's got odor eliminator. Airflow. So that would be like that. I think that fan is, no, like that. Fan's sucking down. Looks like it's already dirty, doesn't it? Probably charcoal. How many cars that gets forgotten on? Apparently this one too, right? Let's go through that. From there, put those block-off plates back in it. We'll call that one done. Gonna let that circulate for a while. Do a battery charger on it to keep it going. That's where the leaves come in. All in through that. That's the intake right there from the air from the outside. Well, after I shut that off, I'll hit it with an air gun. This runs the 5.7 liter, which is, you know, their big motor. I think in 2022 they went to the like a twin turbo 6. This is 391 horsepower, like 400 pounds of torque. Tow capacity for like 10.4, something like that. That's really what I need this truck for. I have another Tundra first gen, but the tow capacity is like 6,700, so the bigger trailers just can't do it. So, all right, I'm gonna go take some funky spray while that's doing its thing and start detailing the interior. I know the background noise is killing you, but so like the OxyClean cleaned all the stuff off the surfaces, but you can see like all the chalkiness left behind it. Essentially just kind of took all the oils right out of it. So there is, I left it over there. this stuff. And you put that on like a terry towel. It's detailer. I don't think it's available. Yeah, it's kind of a commercial thing. A friend of mine got it for me. I tried it. You don't spray it directly on the material. You spray it on like a terry cloth, and then you wipe the terry cloth on it, and it kind of conditions everything. It doesn't give it that goofy, shiny, Armor All-y kind of look. It just makes it look clean. I'll hit it and I'll bring you back. Again, there's so much noise between outside and the fan going and the battery charger. I don't know if it shows up. That's the kind of after. It's not like a shiny thing to it, but it put just enough moisture back in the dash and all, just to make it nice and clean. Went over. And it's even good, like, you know, the plastic, sometimes the plastics on the dash get that hazy kind of coloring to it. Seems like it preps them up pretty good too. Here comes the rain. Last panel I didn't do was this passenger door. So I'll give this a little shot. You can see, again, camera sometimes is a thing. You can see like all the little water droplet looking things. It seems like it rubs in, and it's not tacky or anything after, so like the dust doesn't even stick to it, which is nice. Like, I've used Armor All before, you're like, oh great, but then you drive down a dusty road and everything is like glued to it. And it's just shiny enough you can kind of tell where you hit. And again, I'm not trying to be a spokesman for this person, for this stuff, but I do like it. If I like something, I'll tell you. Something sucks, I'll tell you. So, again. Kind of pricey though, I think. Like 25 bucks, something like that, a bottle. All right, so I'm gonna finish detailing that door and we'll move on to something else. Another thing I like to put on all my cars are these little eyeballs. Things are awesome for getting you the blind spots. Although the new cars, you know, they tell you when something's in the peripheral. They yell at you. I still like these, just for that little blind spot. Problem I found with them is what they come with for these little stickers, they suck. So we are going to do the same that we did. Spread that out. I'm going to let that set up. I'm not going to put, I may put some on the glass a little bit. I'm going to go do that now. Can you see yourself? Hopefully I put that glue spot in the right spot. A little off center, but it doesn't matter where I put it as long as I clear the frame. I should probably. Yeah. Once it's on, it's on. What's good about these, they're adjustable. You can turn them. So you can tweak the eyeball where you want it. I don't know if it's just a cold climate thing with that that self-stick stuff, or they're just crap. Because what I'll do is it'll be about the hold for about 2 or 3 months. All of a sudden, like my other truck just did it. You start seeing them shuddering, and then they're gone. You know, and the guy behind you ends up eating it. So, I'd rather err on a caution. I'm giving them a little extra glue and a little adjustable eyeball. As long as it doesn't rub on the frame when the mirror's trying to adjust, we should be fine. I should have went that way a little and that way a little. We'll learn. We learn. We'll do that in the next one. So the glue's kind of facing that way, so we'll kind of let's go with right there. I cleaned the glass real good before we did anything too. Let's see. It's contact cement, so you know the two surfaces of the glue, for the most part, are dry. If you went to go touch them, your finger's really not going to stick to it. If so, just very little bit. But when the two glues meet together, they bond real well. Not saying that that sticky pad that was on the back of it is going to stick to the mirror part that was already there. And again, I can dial them in later on when I'm in the truck. Let's go flip them back, and they're done. If it's tonight, I'm probably going to put a fan inside the cabin. We'll leave the windows all down, and we'll let the air circulate, hopefully dry it out. But let's get on the console. Actually, let's go get the cover first. We'll open it up and see what it looks like. And hopefully it has a little bit extra room. I'd like to try to see if we could add padding to it just to make it a little bit more comfortable. Let's go see. This is what we got. Comes with little instructions. I don't know, I think I saw it looked like it was using brush-on glue. I don't know if you have any of that. Might even come with some. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's the right one. Looks like it. It's got the little slit in the middle. Let's actually, why don't we just pop it over right at the top right now? We'll see how much of an overlap we get over it. If we get like a good ½ inch or so, we should have enough room to work with to try to maybe put a little bit of foam on it. That battery charger getting you? A little hum in your brain. So I would say it goes like a lot. Yeah, be a little tight. Maybe not. I can see it being a little close. There, how will we? Yeah, because that only has to come to the right around that corner. Good. Let's take all the screws out of this, crack this thing open, because I think we have to fold it around everywhere and then put the center back in. We go get a screw gun, we'll buzz that apart. I think that's all of them. Feels like we're missing something in the front. They hiding too? Let's get the handle off. They might be going right through the center of it. That's hiding too. That's what it was. How about now? Here we go. A little scuzzy in there, huh? It's all the old material. Like he said, he just peeled it off. And they used like acetone or something. And so I'm going to take some time. I'm going to do my best to get rid of all those remnants that are on there. And I read the instructions real quickly, and it said, do not remove the foam that's on the top. Well, we're already past that state, so we're going to try to put something else back on there. Maybe like a carpet underlayment or like that light packing foam. One of those two. Actually, we've got to take that center out of there too, don't we? Now to get rid of this. No reason to work around that, right? Damn it. There we go. Alright, so that needs that on top of it. Done. Looks perfect. Let's go look for some kind of like foamy stuff to go make a new soft pad for it. To the land of the lost. Let's look at that blue material maybe right there. It's kind of thin though. Could double it up, I think. I was thinking more like, you know, the carpet stuff. The under padding. Thought I had some. I keep looking. How about the foam that's in a life preserver? There you go. I don't even know how it's up there. It looks like it slipped up over the pole. That's gonna be big enough. Let's go see if that will lay over the top before we cut it open. Feels like it's two pieces. What's the guts of a sleeping bag? It feels like it's just going to be like loose cotton on the inside though. I was thinking maybe this stuff, but I think it's so thin. It's not going to have any kind of like cushion to it. I think it's just going to get flattened out. Look at this. Actually, that might be what we're looking for. Do we have a piece that's going to be large enough though? I think if we put a seam in it, it's going to stay all the same size. Let's go bring one over and look, try it. I think it's going to be a little shy. Yeah. I kind of want to go to the edges, so we're going to be that much material left. Like I said, I don't want to put a seam on it. I guess we could probably put something else. You know, all I gotta do is like run to Home Depot or something and get a piece of the padding for under our carpet. I think that's our best bet. It'll give you the right longevity of it too. You know, it's meant for it. So I took a trip to Home Depot, and they did not have the carpet underlayment. I thought they would have, but they didn't. But I do remember what I had at the house down in the basement was these like floor tiles you lock together. I figured maybe we could put the treaded side down. It's got like the right density too. It's kind of, you know, it's got the squishiness, but it's not like ridiculously soft. Almost comparable to that. So I wonder maybe we can try to cut that to fit on top. Well, we're gonna try anyway. So let's go take this. We'll take some spray glue. We'll spray some glue on it. We'll set this right on top of it, and then we'll try to carve out around it. Not quite sure if that's going to work the best, but we're going to give that a shot. It's not like we have to glue it 100% because the fabric's going to be what holds it in place, but let's give it a... I think our pee-pee hole's got a little, like morning pee. All right, we'll work with what we got. Got me in the hand. Let them set up for a few minutes. Probably would have been a good idea to get the cover out of the way. a little overspittle. The new guy. All right, let's let them set up a little bit, and we'll try to stick it down and see what I got for a knife. And if this screws up, I have more. I was thinking we can kind of like use it once it was glued together and carve it as a pattern. You know what I mean? Let's hang it off the edge. And we'll carve around it. See how that works. If it sucks, then maybe we'll make like a paper doll and we'll cut a actual pattern out and glue it down. This is just an electric steak knife. It's got two blades that oppose each other. Let's see how this cuts this material. I think where it's going to get tricky though is trying to do that. It's got that taper that drops down. I'm not quite sure what the best influence that's going to be. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. We'll see how that works out. I'm going to give it a 50% success rate right now. I wonder if we could take like a piece of sandpaper. I don't know if it will sand though. I'm trying to feather the edges. Let's lay the cover over it and see how it does. The other thing too is you could probably put like a piece of fine. we could put like a buffer in between. I'm also concerned like how much depth it's using to finish our wrap. Yeah, let's go lay the cover on it real quick, see how that's doing. I would kind of think we could feather the edges better, but that'll be a nice, soft contact spot. Yeah, let's lay that over it. I don't know what how thick the original foam was. It does still seem like it gives us plenty of working room to fold the edges. Let's go do something like that, and we'll look at it. And it's gonna kind of show. Yeah, it's gonna show. I think I need to do a neater job. I should have left the corner squared. That's where I screwed up. I thought it would have looked better, but the seam, when the fabric was on there, it's not lining up. You know what I mean? I think this should be possibly more squared off. You know there's a fix for that. There's 4 more to go play with, so I'm going to keep whittling away, see if we can come up with a better combination, and we'll try it again. That's a little better. I marked it and cut it out on the bandsaw. Yeah, it's got the square edges. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt us. Let's go throw that back on. I don't think those that stitching is going to line up to anything. Don't forget, we still have that centerpiece to put. We have that center section that has to drop in also. Is that going from the top or the bottom? I think that went in from the bottom afterwards, which is going to be like that, coming up. And that doesn't line up to the stitching at all, neither. That's like off a mile. I think we should maybe taper this, leave the outside square, we still have 2 more tries at it. Let's go try carving it on an angle. I'm going to do that all the way around and see if that works for us. At some point, we're just going to go for it. Well, I think we're going to go for that for the win. It's not perfect, but I also wonder maybe we should, I don't know if I have anything really thin we can kind of put over it, like a little bit of cloth. I think generally when you do like upholstery on car seats, you put the foam down, then there's like a, I don't know what you want to call it, like a cheesecloth that goes over it. Let's go glue that on there and we'll lay the cover on and see how the corners are going to pop out. Yeah, just something to kind of like soften the corners just a hair. Take a break from the console for a second because I remembered I want to jump on something. So it's the next day and I've had a fan running in the cab and I think we are good to go as long as everything's dry. Feels like it. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, we're good. It smells pretty good too. Let's get rid of the fan, and I want to put an ozonator in here. We'll close up all the windows and we'll let it run for about a half hour or so. That's what an ozonator is. Tell me what it does? Not quite sure. It replaces one molecule in oxygen for another one and creates ozone, I think is how it does, and it's supposed to help absorb odor. So we'll throw that thing in there. I don't know. we'll crank her up for maybe an hour or so, 2 hours, while we're screwing around with the console. We'll roll up all the windows and we'll let that thing do its thing. So I laid the cover on there. I didn't quite like, again, it was still kind of squaring off the edges, so I decided to take this stuff, which is just like packing material, super squishy, and just kind of spray glued that down on there and then carved around the outside edges. So hopefully it'll kind of just be able to take some of the sharpness out of the corners of it. That's my guess. I'm gonna do a little trimming right there, huh? One of those, let that lay down. I did get a can of glue to do the seams with, brush it on instead of trying to do the spray I was gonna do. Now this won't get messy at all. I'm gonna go run around. It's the same as the other stuff, just not a spray. So yeah, gotta let it sit for about 15 minutes, it says, and then under 2 hours. I don't know what I'm gonna film because I want to try to focus without being in the way of the camera. I'll do my best job possible. But basically it's gonna go on both sides. And then we're going to put the plastics back in. So go around that, then I gotta go around the edge of the fabric. And hopefully not screw it up. All right, let's give it a whirl. About 10-15 minutes since both surfaces have been covered. I'm scared. Let's try starting in the front here. Then we'll pull to the rear. We'll flip it up and look at it. See how we're doing. Probably the last section we'll do maybe is that middle. Let's go from one side. These could have used some thicker padding up in the front here, I guess. I probably should have wrapped the front edge. Oh well. That could have stayed squared up going across there. I said, unfortunately, I didn't have the old one to go look at. So I'm going to go buzz some screws in. I'm going to try to get the inner and outer shells back on it. We'll see what it looks like. I just got done buzzing all the screws in. Let's see how we made out. It's decent. I think a little bit of time in the sun may make it. Padding feels good. I think a little bit of time in the sun may get some of the sharpness out of it. It's a little underfilled in that front area. Like if I do it again, I would wrap it going right down over the front with that other material. So, yeah, lumpy right there. We're novice. I don't think that's bad. Run a couple little cleaning solution over it. Let's go bolt it back in the truck. See how our ozonator is doing. As far as I understand, that it's not very good to breathe for you too. Oof, it's strong. Replaces the smell of cigarette smoke with a kind of like a weird, I don't know how to describe it. Give me a second. I'm going to unplug that and get that out of there. I'm going to roll down the windows and we'll let this thing air out a little bit and we'll throw that console back in. Actually, it's better in the truck because you can't see all the boo-boos. Other than that, again, that line that you see right there. But again, that may fade over time. Just getting some heat on it. Oh well. Better than what was there, which was nothing. And this has got extra padding. Nothing I hate. You're driving for like 11 hours or so, doing, you know, cross country, and your elbow's like killing you because the console's so rough. Same thing with the armrest on the doors. Like some of them are hard plastic. This one's pretty good. It's, again, pretty squishy. But you know, some of them are just nothing. I think we're almost about done in the truck. I don't see anything else we need to kind of address. I put a little freezer, a little refrigerator freezer. Fits over in that side. Here, I'll go around, I'll show you. I think it was like 90 bucks it was on sale. I'm not trying to sell you on anything either, but it's in a good spot. It'll go from refrigerator to freezer. It'll go down to -4 Fahrenheit on it. And it's got either AC or DC plug. And I just have that run up and I ran it into the console on that one. So when the truck is running, it's on. And when it's not in place. Too bad the seat doesn't fold down over the top of it. But that's good enough. This one will just stay up. We'll just leave this one in up position. Ooh, nice console. Another thing, I forgot, I got a couple of smalls. This is a cup holder for adults. You know, the little original cup holders are kind of small. This one you stick in, you rotate it, and the little bar bends come out, and they'll lock themselves into the console. And that way you can put the bigger drink holders in it. And it's got a cutout if you have a mug. You use it. It's probably gonna go on the front one. Something like that. Perfect. Actually, I got something for the console yet too. That's a little better. Definitely nothing worse than, like, especially when the console's empty, there's like one thing rolling around back and forth driving you crazy. You know, something like that. So one last thing I want to try for the interior is watch the channel Flying Wheels Garage. It's, Craig, he owns a used car dealership. He talks about different things to you know, what they do to go prep stuff, and one of them for smoke was to take he said the chlorine that you would put in a swimming pool and do what I'm doing, just carve some of it off in a bowl or a cup. That should be enough. I didn't have that. This is what you would use in a toilet. That might be the same idea with the chlorine. He said put some of that with some water, set it in the console, close up all the windows, and let it set overnight. Let me put a little bit more in there. I'm gonna go try that. I'm leaving for the evening anyway, and I'll check back tomorrow. I want to say we're probably about 80% of the way there, as far as you get a faint odor of tobacco right now, but you know, that in hot weather, you know, I'm sure it'll get much worse. But let's go try this. I think it's a good idea. All right, it's the next day. Let's go take a peek. Do we have smell-o-vision? It's been sealed up with that. So you can only dissolve so much. It does. I can't smell any cigarette. I can't talk either. I can't smell any cigarette smoke, but it does seem like it's it just has a kind of a clean smell to it, kind of like after you did laundry. I guess that's kind of the right idea, right? The truth it will be is how long it lasts, but that's good for now. Nice. I got a bunch of other stuff all kind of set up as far as all the wiring and the satellite radios hooked back up, and you know, mounts for your cell phone and all the wiring and crap going to all that junk out of the way. One thing I do want to get taken care of is, so I don't have stolen valor. He was a Marine, is a Marine. Let's see, get that off the window. Give that to Brian. I think I have to get behind her with a razor blade. Pop that off, and let's go pop it up on a lift, and I may want to go shoot a little bit of oil underneath it. Let's see if we can get that. Scratching the glass too bad. Like this. It's one of the better ones. Got that metal too, which is nice. I'll give that to Brian. So although this frame is looking pretty clean, you can really definitely see the start where the issues are going to start showing up. And again, inside the frame rails, all the material kind of stays in there. All the little like corners is where stuff has an issue. Generally what I do is I take a chainsaw, bar and chain oil that you would put in a chainsaw when you're cutting wood. It lubricates the blade. Kind of, it's sticky, it's got a tackiness to it. Within reason, I thin that with kerosene or something like that, and I spray it in a kind of a spray gun. It's called a Schultz gun. I'm not going to do this truck with this right now because it is going on a road trip and the driveway is going to get parked in. I don't want to make a mess because it does drip for a while. But I do have some chain lube, which is this stuff. And this stuff, not get you on the camera, but it'll seep down, but it hardens up. It'll fill like those little grooves. You see what it's running into right now. See how it's kind of like running down into those pores. Even up top, you see where it's doing there. But then it'll harden up. In about 15 minutes, you can probably aggressively wipe it off, but not easily. So that's going to get done in a bunch of like the heavily areas that like the frame rail, it's like up in there where that's starting to go do its rust. Those locations. So I want to spray all that, but the basis of it, which is going to be all the flooring underneath the truck, all, you know, that metal, the base of the bed up there, all that's going to get sprayed with that other spray, which shoots much further. But I'm going to protect the frame with that spray that I have there. Someone gave me a couple of cans of that, so I'm going to go use that up. So we can make this one last much longer than the last one did because of that. It's got aftermarket exhaust on it. What's it got? Magnaflow, and that goes to a dual exhaust, I believe. No, just one. Just louder. It's got dual up here and it goes into one. All right, so I'm gonna go spend, I probably just use up maybe 1 can of that right now. And like I said, I don't want it dripping all over where it's going. And I'll just run up down the inside the frame rails. At some point, these have to come out. These are like a little cap to keep material from getting in there. Problem is when it gets in there, then it can't get out of there. So they'll come off. I'll spray up inside that boxed frame up in there. It's a real popular area for them to rust. And I'm gonna do my best to own this truck for 15, 20 years, hopefully, and do our best to try to save it. All right, let's go bring her back down on the ground after I dump a couple of cans of that spray up in here, and we'll fire it up, hear what it sounds like, and take it for a little road trip. I guess I should show pictures of the what happened. I told you it got totaled by a bug. So that's like a 2007, no, 2000, might be newer than that, Beetle, some special edition last year, the Beetle. Doesn't look that bad in that picture, but that tire is like under the driver's door. She hit it pretty decent. You can see too, it wasn't hit square on. There's no damage about center of the hood over. And she hit off center to my truck because the trailer hitch was on. I just got done dropping a trailer off, and she hit it like right there. So it pushed all that energy on that one frame rail and caused it to do that funky bow to it. It did all the damage. I felt bad for her. She's like a 77-year-old woman on her way to work. And what happened was, it was an intersection. It's a road like this, and then a road crossing it like that. I was waiting to turn into here. A truck and trailer came by, turned in behind me, kind of blocked her view. And then after the truck and trailer left, she came in and I was right there and no place to go, and hit me. Pushed me forward about 25, 30 feet. I think I had already moved. It already moved my truck. My truck was up in this area, right around here. And I think that might be the front of her Beetle right there. Yeah. And that's why I decided, well, we just get a new truck. It shook off. It's even worse than that. That picture's not showing it. And you might even see a little bit better there. You can tell we're frame rail. So there's that. Oh well, life goes on. Luckily. Putting her around. We're gonna go on the highway in a second here. We'll boot it when we get down there. All the gauges look good. Everything looks like it's where they should be. It's got a 38-gallon gas tank in it. Looks like it's still got about 30 gallons in it. That's a $100 right there. Back off here for a second. Focus. Get that car a second to go on. See how she does. Alright. Ready? Runs good. Never went over 55. A little bit of a shimmy. Front tire. It's the first time I've had it on the highway, so definitely going to want to go balance those before I drive it for 3,000 miles. I don't know if it's showing up on my hand or not. Stuttering a little bit. Neat. Happy with it. Just get that back window to get freed up. It's pretty quiet. The exhaust is just right. It's got enough little bark to it that, but it's not annoying when you're cruising. It's not like, you know, rattling your brain when you're trying to ride. Shimmy seems to have calmed down a little bit. Maybe a little slower. So it might be a window of where that happens. Low 70s. All right, I'm happy with that, and let's go take her back to where we started this video. This is the TRD Sport. They make a Sport and they make a off-road. The Sport's more, again, for it's the on-road purpose. It's got the fatter sway bars, larger size tires, that kind of thing. I should say larger size rims, not tires. Got my eyeballs I can see a little bit better with. These trucks are really good. Like, that's only like quarter throttle the pedal, if that. They scoot along pretty good. Like a nice low end out of the hole kind of deal. I gotta rotate those a little, dial them in a little. Right now I'm looking at the ground. So is it good luck or bad luck on your first drive, a bird shits dead center in your windshield? Just asking. All right, we returned to the beginning of the video where we started off, and the truck cleaned up really nice, didn't it? Yeah. Well, we're able to do what we can do. I thought about trying to buy the other truck back and going through it, but I think for the long term, this is just kind of a better decision. Put 15 grand towards a new truck, and I'll get me another. Again, what's this truck? 12 years newer than the other one? Yeah. So essentially, giving me another 12 years on a truck for 15 grand is how I'm looking at it. And I think it was just, opportunity allowed us to step up to something a little bit nicer, a little cleaner. And the only sucky part about that is you're always afraid of, now you're afraid of putting a scratch in it, especially in a black truck, all the dirt that shows up on it. But it's really cool. I'm really liking it. Just gotta get the back window fixed. And when I get back, shoot some undercoating underneath it. I gotta put some plastic down on the floor for it to not make a mess of the shop too. And I'll probably do another, my wife's truck needs another shot, which is a Toyota FJ. But for this one, guys, I think we're gonna go wrap it up right here. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I know it's a little different than the normal stuff, but I needed to address it and get it taken care of, so I figured I'd make a video of it. That the sun is getting in your eyes. Nice rig. Happy to have it. Alright guys, with that I'm gonna sign off. I want to thank y'all for hanging out, doing some wrenching, some cleaning. Cigarette smoke seems like it's pretty much all gone. Hopefully it stays that way. Even with, it really wasn't that bad even to begin with. It kind of made more of it than what it was. A lot better smelling than dead mice, I'll tell you that. Alright guys, with that, I'll see you later. Bye old friend. I'll miss you.